Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. Sorry for not streaming yesterday. I wanted to, but my voice gave out for whatever reason. I don't know why. But yeah, for a couple hours last night. I don't know why, but this was like the best I could do. And in a game that requires a whole lot of talking, that won't go happen. Kinda hard to stream when you don't have a voice. So. But it did come back after a little bit, and we are in a significantly better spot in that regard. We're gonna go ahead and get into the Monsters Tournament. Trial of Day 1. Yes, there we go. April 18th, 9:15 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. You okay, Athena? You've been really antsy ever since we got here.
I'm just excited. This is my first real court case after all.
Yeah, real ball of excitement, isn't she? I know just what she needs. Athena!
Did you learn about your indoor voice? Yeah. Didn't you ever learn about indoor and outdoor voices?
I'm just trying to show you the best way to relieve your pre-trial jitters.
By scaring the daylights out of me?
No. I find that shouting, "I'm fine," in a loud voice really relieves stress. It's part of my Chords of Steel voice workout. Ah, I see you still got that. And a must before every trial.
You want me to shout? Here?
That's right. Here, I'll go first, and you try. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine!
Alright, I'm Athena Sykes, and I'm fine. Huh. I think it actually worked.
Thought it might help. Always works for me. An old friend of mine from junior high, and I say it all the time.
I see. Proven remedy to calm the soul. I like it. Probably finish off with a race around the courthouse.
The point is to relieve stress, not get totally exhausted. What's with all the racket, you two? Ah, Mr. Right. This little voice workout. Hey, what's with the suit? Oh, this? I'm just thinking about getting my attorney's badge back. That's all. That's all? That's huge news. But why now? I have a feeling I'll be needed in the courtroom again sometime soon. We can talk about that another time. Fair. Inquiring minds want to know. Wow. Something about this outfit looks off in the 3D modeling. So used to him in his usual laid-back clothes. Suit makes him look like $1 million. By the way, have you heard about the prosecutor assigned to this case? Yeah, he's serving time. Before that, he was a prosecutor. He also uses psychology? That's right. I heard the rumors how he was back before his conviction. Using the power of suggestion, he could make even the most stalwart defendants confess. Psychology in the courtroom. Been hearing a lot of that lately. So he must be a pretty scary guy, considering he's a prison inmate and all. So they say. They also say he'll cut you down if you talk too much. I knew it was going to be bad news. It's probably just a hyperbole.
At least, I hope for your sake. Wait, so is it true or not? Let's just say you should be concise and choose your words carefully. You'd like to keep that head of yours attached to the rest of your body, that is. You're talking about my cords of steel too. So, are you all ready? It'd be a good idea to check the court record again before stepping into the ring. Right, Mr. Wright? But I'm fine. I'll be watching for the gallery. Good luck. Thanks. Okay, let's do this. The odds of pulling this off are ridiculously low. That's nothing new. As I said in my announcements, it's on social media and the Discord servers. Wouldn't be an Ace Attorney game if we weren't going into this fighting an uphill battle. Believe in our client, seek the truth. That's all we can do. Hang in there, Mayor Tenma. Here comes justice. I do like that that implementation of the all rides and stuff. That's fun.
Court is now in session for the trial of Damien Tenma.
Apollo Justice, defense team leader, is ready, Your Honor.
I knew that big booming voice anywhere. Similar as ever, eh, Mr. Justice? Who's the young lady next to you?
Anything in sight. Mr. Justice's junior partner and fresh out of law school.
Well now, full of beans too, eh? Excellent. Makes an old man feel young again. Now for the prosecution. It appears the prosecution is not ready yet. Never fear, for I am here. I shall explain. It's just a minor procedural complication, Your Honor. The prosecution for this case is being escorted from prison as we speak. Prison? Oh yes, of course. Nothing's currently serving time.
Anime.
Yup, Prosecutor Blackwell's an inmate. But even a convicted murderer still got a job to do and duties to perform.
Man. Joker really hit some hard times after the events of Strikers. Gosh, such an edgy design. Who's that with his back to us over there? That's him. I'm sure of it. Prosecutor Blackwell.
Is the prosecution ready? Enough jabbering. Get on with it already. Yes, of course. Forgive me.
Why are all the people related to this case so scary?
Yep, Prosecutor Blackwell, your opening statement. What's the matter? Must we continue to fritter away? Must we continue to fritter away time like this? It's all right here in the indictment. An opening statement would be pointless. Pointless? Say,
The cat, or in this case the prosecutor, prosecutor has the judge's tongue.
What we need an opening statement as an overview for the case at hand. Well then, your baldness is so very important. Why don't you do the honors? Me? There's a term for people who whine and fuss about how they need silly, useless things. And decide they no longer want them. Once it's theirs, it's selfish old fool. Huh?
Hey, is that the prosecution's opening statement?
Old daughters such as you are a plague among the young. I pity your poor grandchildren. Or is it great-grandchildren? Well, these you guys thought the opening statement was the prosecutor's job. I suppose I could give it a try. Might be a nice change of pace.
What? He actually fell for that? Must have been the power of suggestion Mr. Wright was talking about.
The opening statement, huh? Let's see here. The victim was one Rex Cupid, the alderman and of Nine Tails. And the defendant, Damien Tenma, mayor of Tenma Town, was accused of his murder. And why, pray tell, was the mayor arrested? His prints were on the murder weapon. Plus, he had a motive, the elimination of the biggest roadblock in the municipal merger. The caretaker and the secretary, other potential suspects, both have alibis. And his daughter, who was also in the vicinity at the time of the incident, has no motive. So in a nutshell, I have to say the charges against the defendant are incontrovertible. There we go. Bravo, your baldness. Your years of experience shine bright like your head. Flattery will get you everywhere.
He's playing Simon Says with the judge.
Moving right along now, let's hear from our first witness today, Detective Fulbright. Witness, please state your name and occupation. I'm the detective assigned to this case, Bobby Fulbright. Oh, and I'll be keeping tabs on old Blackwell here. I heard you would provide a protection if it came to that. Seeing that I have been sorely underestimated.
Who's protecting who from what?
Still, I truly believe that anyone can turn their...
Fun theme. Just gonna pop a little bit.
Fulbright, save your platitudes for funerals. Get on with your statements. That's the spirit. Justice must be swift and true. I see it in your eyes. There is hope for your rehabilitation and return to society. I will never give up on you.
Prosecutor Blackwell doesn't seem to intimidate for Detective Fulbright. Well, you know what they say, ignorance is bliss.
No dots, only justice.
Yeah, so that's why Detective Fulbright was so assigned to Blackwell. So oblivious.
Well, let's have your first statement, Detective Fulbright. You've got it. But first, I'd like to say to the defense that justice will ultimately prevail.
Yeah, Apollo justice will prevail. Thank you for agreeing with us.
Alderman QB was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. The fingerprints of the defendant, Damien Tenma, were found on the murder weapon. At the time, Alderman QB was asleep from a drug he was unwittingly ingested. Mayor Tenma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. Sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed a statue and struck back.
Alderman QB had been slipped some kind of sleep-inducing drug?
That's right. The accused was scared because the alderman was a former pro wrestler. So he slipped him a drug to make sure he'd be out cold and defenseless. There's the autopsy report to prove it.
Cause of death, spear, estimated time of death around 3:20 p.m. The victim had been in a drug-induced slumber. That really be the technical term, though, right?
The victim managed to attack his attacker despite being impaled by a spear? Sounds almost superhuman. Is it even possible? Well, he was a former pro wrestler, after all. That spear was probably nothing more than a mosquito bite did.
Objection!
Not so fast. I'm trying to brush it all off by saying the alderman had been in a pro wrestler. Do you really expect us to believe if he could fight back after being skewered by a spear?
Never heard of the incredible feats of which a man is capable of in a pinch, have you? Like the samurai of yore, wrestlers can battle through intense pain. Sharpens their senses. Used to talk about it with a former wrestler I met in the clink.
I don't know. Still sounds a little far-fetched.
Does it now? Perhaps we should test a theory. Yeah. Perhaps we should test a theory on you with the edge of my blade.
I didn't sign up for this.
So your life is spared, for now.
Please let those shackles be made of titanium. I don't want to die.
My investigations are as thorough as they are foolproof, or my name isn't Fulbright.
Remember that?
I vow to resign immediately if I ever make a false arrest. The accused prints were on the weapon, and he's the one person without an alibi. Quite decisive evidence, wouldn't you agree, your boldness? The defendant is sounding guilty by the minute.
Yes, the judge leaning toward a guilty verdict. The trial's just barely begun.
More curious rumor about the accused is making rounds. They say he seeks the merger for the purposes of freeing Tenmataro from his imprisonment. Truth be told, I can think of no real reason to show interest in that backward bird. Perhaps he's a complete nutter and really does seek to release an imaginary demon. Either way, he's raving mad, more than capable of murdering the alderman. Order. There will be no gossiping in my course. Your boldness. Please take a gander at those charms plastered across his cranium. They're meant to keep him safe from possession by the demon Tenmataro. Then again, perhaps he's already under the demon spell. Behold, the lunatic appears poised to lunge at you any moment.
Hold it!
The rumors and quirks of Mayor Tenma have no relevance to this case. Besides, those charms on his head, they're just a fashion statement, I think.
I think there is. Such things don't seem relevant to the case, do they?
The prosecution will refrain from dragging our client's reputation through the mud.
Oh. What a dreadfully fearsome lass we have here.
Thanks for that lifeline, Athena. Careful, Apollo. He has the judge dancing in the palm of his hand. The power of suggestion is more powerful than... it's one of the more powerful tools in Simon Blackwell's arsenal. He's trying to manipulate everyone's impression to suit his objectives. This guy is really bad news.
In any case, the victim did manage to defend himself despite being impaled. What sort of weapon did he use against this attacker? None other than this statue right here. It appears to be a statue of two strange creatures lost in battle. Two yokai, to be exact. On one side is the nine-tailed fox, and on the other, Tenmataro. Quite interesting if you think about it. It's as though this very case were rendered in art. Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Okay. Prince, how would they know?
Objection!
Did the alderman really strike the mayor?
What? Are you questioning my sense of justice?
Your so-called justice needs to find itself a pair of legs to stand on. You claim the alderman struck back after the mayor put a spear through him, but the statue he supposedly used to defend himself creates a major hole in your theory.
Give the defense as a counter-argument? Very well. Let's see what the defense thinks is odd about the detective statue theory.
There are no fingerprints on it. There are no fingerprints on this supposedly crucial piece of evidence. And if you look at the crime scene photo, you'll notice that the alderman isn't wearing gloves.
Yes, I believe he is indeed quite gloveless.
If he touched the statue with his bare hands, he should have left some fingerprints. Detective Fulbright, you did take that into account during your investigation, didn't you? The music in this particular entry is so good. That 3DS soundtrack.
This can't be happening. Did I arrest the wrong man?
You did it, Apollo. You knocked Detective Fulbright off his high horse. Just 1 point in our favor. You suppose clubbed the mayor if it wasn't the alderman. The alderman. That means someone else must have clubbed the mayor. And there was a third party in the Fox chamber? Exactly. And this could be the big break we've been looking for.
Prosecutor Blackwell, who can respond to the defense of the senator.
Least you could do is look at me while you're being dismissive.
Your mind is as dull as an unhoned blade. Justice Dono.
Justice Dono? He's been watching too many samurai flicks.
It'll take far more than that to cut down on Simon Blackwell.
a trial, not a sword fight, Prosecutor Blackwell.
They're a perfectly good explanation for the lack of prints on the statue. I recall that blood-stained cloth found at the scene of the crime. It just so happens that the blood was the mayor's.
So, what are you getting at?
Go in your mind, boy. Why was there blood on that cloth? Solve that riddle, and you should see the hole that you thought that you found is but an illusion.
Let's see. How was that cloth used?
Wrap the statue.
Maybe the alderman wrapped the statue in the cloth? In short, he wasn't touching the statue directly when he used the strike back at the mayor.
Precisely. Bully for you, boy.
It was nothing. Apollo, don't let him start manipulating you too. Just close the hole for the prosecution. I did? I did.
Right. And the statue wrapped in cloth would leave no fingerprint. That's as plain as day. It also proves that there are no holes in our theory of the alderman striking back.
Oops.
Now do you see how dull your mind is?
Make sure to sharpen it next time.
A particularly frightening inmate once told me that he always took his blade before he went to work. That the samurai of yore. Samurai? Sounds more like a homicidal maniac to me. Actually, he was working in the prison kitchen at the time.
Is the inmate with a murdering samurai prison chef?
It would seem that the victim and his killer were the only ones there after all.
I was kinda attached to that hole. Now what? Apollo, I just thought of something. If they didn't find anyone's fingerprints on the statue, who's to say someone other than the alderman didn't hit the mayor with it? Why didn't I think of that? Anybody could have not left prints on it.
And who, pray tell, struck the mayor with the statue? Please illuminate with her. As with your wisdom, young lady.
There's only one answer. The real killer.
Prove the existence of this real killer, then. What evidence have you?
I'll give you evidence, alright. Dana, are you sure about this? Borrow your words, Apollo? I'm fine. Take a look at this. Black feathers and tracks, allegedly from the yokai, were found at the scene. I believe they're from the third party who struck the mayor with that statue.
Is the defense actually suggesting some sort of monster killed that alderman?
That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
Objection!
No, Athena, you just lost what little credibility we had left. Sorry. Guess I got carried away.
Mr. Justice, there's no time to deal with objections between members of the defense.
Sorry, Your Honor. It's just this kid's still, well, a kid. Ouch. Meanie? I'm reporting you to to Mr. Wright.
So this court doesn't believe the feathers and tracks are from a yokai, as you put it?
No, Your Honor. I believe they are a fabrication. Or I believe they are a fabrication. The real killer wants us to believe that some sort of monster murdered the alderman.
Interesting. Why do you suppose the killer would do that?
Why indeed?
Mr. Justice, it seems as if this is your partner.
Ouch. This I'm not reporting to Mr. Wright.
Oi, cooperate. Explain to his baldness what these brats are missing. You know, the who and why behind those feathers and tracks.
What? I mean, you can explain that?
Our investigative prowess is without equal.
I'm starting to think I chose the wrong profession.
Very well, let's hear about these so-called yokai feathers and tracks.
Feathers and tracks.
This entire case centers on one man's attempt to crush opposition to the municipal merger. Mayor Tenma panicked when the amazing Ninetales helped embolden the process. The protesters. So he stoked the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster. The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like the yokai was the killer.
Those feathers and tracks stoked the villagers' fears?
Absolutely. He knew exactly how to prey on their superstitious minds. Those feathers only gave weight to the idea that the alderman was slain by a demon. The accursed demon Tenmataro, that is. Tenma who? Tenmataro. The legendary demon locked away in the village's forbidden chamber. From a young age, the villagers are taught not to fear the great black-feathered demon. Thus, they were blinded to others more plausible.
Hold it!
Hold on for a second. Before we start letting our imaginations run wild, isn't there someone else that could be considered a suspect?
Mr. Justice, please explain yourself.
On the day of the incident, there was a special event held at Cuby Manor. As part of this event, there was someone dressed in the likeness of Tenmataro. Obviously, this person is much more likely a suspect than any legendary...
Objection!
Dullard. Are you playing right into the killer's mind games?
Or you are playing...
Listen here. The feathers and tracks were merely red herrings. The villagers believed that murder to be the work of the real Tenmataro. However, the police believe that the person in the Tenmataro suit is the killer. The defendant sought to sow this confusion in order to deflect the blame from himself. However, he was knocked unconscious by the alderman. Thus, a mentally deficient mayor was caught red-handed at the scene of the
Objection!
Do you honestly believe Mayor Tenma would do something so stupid?
Objection!
The evidence speaks for itself. Fool, right? Right. It's the mayor's last-ditch effort before to stop the opposition before things got crazy. The amazing Ninetales was fueling both the yokai craze and the anti-merger movement. Plus, he's one of the better-known masked wrestlers and the hometown favorites. That's why the mayor panicked and set out on the path of injustice. But the people of Ninetales really believe the yokai is behind the crime. Yokai sightings are an everyday event there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I must say, a crime that preys upon the innocent impressionable minds. Just so. A particularly silver-tongued inmate. It once had the following words for me. The innocent of heart are the easiest prey. You don't say. Was this inmate a con artist? No. He was framed for the murder of his beloved. He actually felt sorry for the poor chap.
I get the feeling I should be giving this guy a British accent. Wait, so he wasn't the predator, but rather the prey?
Yes, very well. Now then, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination.
Hold it!
But it doesn't add up. If what you say is true, why top it up with murder?
What do you mean?
You claim that our client planted the yokai evidence to stoke the village's fears. So why not stop there? Why murder Alderman QB?
Good point.
It is, isn't it? So Your Honor agrees there was no reason for the murder, correct?
Objection!
Perhaps the killer was on the spur of the moment.
You're saying it wasn't premeditated?
From the outset, I had an intention of paying heed to... I had no intention of paying heed to any of your babble. However, the fact is, the mayor made a startling discovery.
A startling discovery? I don't like the sound of that.
Alderman QB's secret identity.
Apollo? Prosecutor Blackwell has figured out the Alderman's secret identity. Even if he has, why would it be a motive for the mayor to commit murder? This is not good.
This patch of fur was discovered at the crime scene. From the mask worn by the mask worn by the amazing Nine-Tails. Therefore, we can conclude that this mask was at the crime scene. Aye, but why would it have been there? The victim was a former pro wrestler and member of the anti-merger movement. Need I say more? Well, could it really be? Your boldness has had an epiphany, I see. The victim of Rex QB was the amazing Nine-Tails. His discovery of this fact was his motive for murder. Oh! Order! What a development. A motive clearer than crystal clear.
What do we do now, Apollo? I think they'd tie in the Alderman and secret identity to the mayor's motive for murder.
At last we've reached my real point. Why did the Alderman have to forge his secret identity? Does it not pique your interest, your boldness? Well, it does. It is odd that he had to create this other persona. Just to secretly participate in the anti-merger movement. Very astute of you, your boldness. Right. Now take a look at this. If you value your dearest life, you will merge Nine-Tails Vale with Tenma Town. This blackmail letter was found in the Alderman QB's pocket.
What?
At present, the Alderman's wife is in the hospital. That letter is clear evidence the mayor was blackmailing him by threatening her life.
Wait. Didn't the blackmail letter you sent to Mayor Tenma go missing? Right after the Alderman's murder? We forged the letter from the mayor after the murder? Planted it on the Alderman's pocket? It's possible. We don't have any proof that's what happened. Being up a creek without a paddle.
Mayor Tenma would have made a clean getaway if he'd just left after planting the yokai things. But he was knocked out cold by his sudden decision to kill the amazing Nine-Tails. The amazing Nine-Tails counterattacked that movement.
Wait a sec. Every time the mayor killed the Alderman after any yokai evidence. The mayor was knocked out cold immediately after that. Detective Fulbright, please add your previous statement to your testimony.
Mayor Tenma killed the sleeping alderman after planting the feathers and tracks.
But if he was knocked unconscious after murdering him, that wouldn't happen.
Objection!
Detective Fulbright, your sense of justice is anything but fair.
What's this? You dare question my justice again?
Yes, and I'm gonna prove it to you. Take a look at this photo.
This is the crime scene, Pepe. And what does it prove?
It proves when the feathers and tracks were planted.
But I already told you, they were planted before the murder. The defendant planted the yokai evidence that was knocked out while killing the victim.
That would be impossible. Look right here. It's clear when the feathers and tracks were left at the scene. You can't make bloody footprints without blood.
Take that!
Aren't you just pointing to the yokai feathers and tracks, Mr. Justice?
Yes, see how the feathers are on top of the blood? And the tracks were made in blood? In other words, the yokai evidence would have only resulted after the murder.
The mayor must have planted the evidence after killing the alderman.
But you said it yourself. The mayor had been knocked unconscious thereafter. There would have been no time for him to plant any evidence at all. Therefore, there must have been someone else besides the mayor and the alderman at the crime scene.
There must be some mistake.
The first time we've seen like an animation of that. I don't think that was ever in the first game, like the sprite-based games.
Walter. Where's your evidence? You can't possibly have any, can you?
Evidence? Oh, I have evidence. But I have an eyewitness's testimony for you.
You do? But how? My vaunted sense of justice really is just half-baked.
Saying this really hard.
Mr. Justice, this is testimony regarding a third party you claim to have.
I have it right here, Your Honor. It's the sworn testimony of Mr. Tenma's daughter. The witness, Jinxie Tenma, saw a yokai in the hallway after stumbling upon the scene. It was the demon Tenmatara. He is the source of those feathers and tracks. Will somebody please say something?
The defense will explain to the court exactly what he means. You dare mock this court and justice itself? You're unfit to bear your name, boy. Your boldness appears no defense. The attorney here is delirious from exhaustion.
Hold it!
Apollo, think of something quick before you're held in contempt of court. What do you think I'm trying to do? Before you decide whether I should step down, please hear me out.
Whatever, Mr. Justice, I'm all ears. But you'd better explain yourself well. What is this yokai you're talking about?
It's all in this statement here. Jinxie Tenma asserts that she saw Tenmataro. After the discovery of the crime scene, or after she discovered the crime scene and called the police, she came around the corner in the hall. It was around here. That's when she saw Tenmataro fleeing toward the foyer. The defense asserts that whoever was impersonating this monster is someone who left those feathers or the tracks behind, intentionally or otherwise.
What? How incredibly injustice! Why have I heard about this before?
Hey, was he the killer? Well, set up the prosecutor is a convicted felon. Hollow! The momentum is shifted in our favor. Good. Let's keep that.
Objection!
Objection. Little do you realize that though you are in the midst of a fray, your sword is broken.
My sword? I didn't know I had one to break. Are you implying there's a problem with my claim?
Consider this. The yokai impersonator had indeed put the foyer. That fool and that fop would have seen him.
Fop. No, he bit me. Filch and LaBelle. Now that you mention it.
Both Phineas Filch and Florent LaBelle were in the foyer at the time. But they haven't stated they saw a yokai, have they? Consider that the yokai was but a figment of a scared little girl's imagination.
Why did those two see Tenmataro impersonator pass by? Why don't we ask them ourselves? I was just about to say that myself. No, really, I was. The defense would like to call Mr. Phineas Filch, caretaker of QB Manor, to the stand. I just know he must have seen something.
I suppose we can't ignore the fact that the little girl believes she's almost dead. I trust you have no objections to Mr. Justice's request, Prosecutor Blackwell. I understand that Mr. Filch is enjoying a nap out in the lobby. I knew that Tanuki was a rare find. When I captured him, I didn't think he'd end up a witness. Do what you will. Do with him as you will.
Did he just say captured? Alright. I don't want to know.
Bailiff, please go wake Mr. Filch and escort him to the witness stand. Will the witness state his name and occupation, please?
Name's Filch. Phineas Filch. Caretaker of QB Manor. Oh, and, this is for you, your lordship. It's a little something I thought you might like.
Oh my, what a fabulous pair of shoes. Your Honor would be just fine, Mr. Filch.
Shoes again. Don't they belong to Detective Albright? Mr. Filch stole them again. All yours, your honorship, sir.
These seem awfully expensive.
Yep, too expensive for me. I reckon they'd be perfect for someone like you, your honorship.
It's a kind gesture, but legal ethics dictate I can't accept such gifts.
Ethics, methics. Just take them if you want them. Polished them up real nice for you, too.
I'm sorry about the shoes, Mr. Filch, but I will accept your testimony. The court would like to hear about whether you saw Tenmataro in the foyer after the murder.
At the time of the murder, I was on guard duty in the foyer, just like Mr. QB asked. I was making sure no one, fair, foul, fishy, or otherwise, could get to our guests. Still in my office, keeping in a good watch when the murder happened around 3 p.m. I didn't see nothing out of the ordinary. No siree.
That yokai you keep jabbering on about is but a phantom of a little girl's dreams.
So, you're telling this court you never saw anyone dressed up like Tenmataro? Yep, I was gone the whole time. That's the truth. The holy truth and nutter butter the truth. I haven't had nutter butters in forever. And Ten Mataro? Bleh. You don't really believe in all that yokai mumbo jumbo, do ya? I certainly don't. My bracelet. That's a new animation. Something the matter, Apollo?
My bracelet keeps squeezing my arm.
Really? So you think Mr. Filch has been lying to us?
I wouldn't rule it out. No. I could just zero in on a tell. Some sort of nervous habit. Gee, that's a bird.
What the? What's a hawk doing in here?
Allow me to introduce my trusted cohort, Taka. You named your hawk the Japanese word for hawk? He seems to have taken quite a liking to the courthouse. Made it his new home, in fact.
He doesn't live with you?
You know, in jail?
Who's ever heard of a courthouse bird?
Taka simply loathes trickery and fraud. That queer power of yours seems to have offended my dear bosom buzzard. Isn't some sort of trick?
Spot squat like this. What the heck's going on there? Under the hills!
No pets or other animals are allowed in the courtroom. Somebody help? Oh, he's merely having a bit of sport. He won't harm you. Say, even truly famished. In that case, crossing with the Blackwell, you will ensure your feathered friend is properly fed. That animation's really cute.
Looks like we have to do this the old-fashioned way. We'll be fine, I think. There's someone dressed as Ten Mataro there. Filch should have seen him. I'll just have to put our faith in Jinxie's statement for now.
Mr. Tenma, please proceed with your cross-examination. A little annoying that they just don't let Apollo have his gimmick. We get to use the Magatama before. You watching the TV listings? You were watching wrestling.
Objection!
Don't light at the core like that, Mr. Filch.
Hey! It ain't right to bushwhack a fellow like that.
Fortunately for you, I have evidence that proves you're lying. If you look at this TV listing here, you'll see that at the time of the crime, there was a pro wrestling match scheduled. Something you'd never miss.
I didn't watch that one. No siree. I was doing my job just like I was supposed to.
He doesn't know when to give up. Mr. Filch, someone even circled the match. This was you, right?
James!
Not only that, you even told me you watched it. You said, and I quote, "It was a complete disaster." So, do you admit to sliding off?
You can't treat me with your Rudy Poo lawyer talk. I'm one of them professional types too. I do double duty, watching TV and the foyer at the same time.
The only thing Filch can claim to be is professional is professional thief. Mr. Justice, you would have this court believe the witness is slacking off.
That's correct. He claims to have been watching a TV and the foyer at the same time.
That's nothing but a bald-faced lie.
Told you, say. But I'm not the one who's lying. Perhaps you want to witness, Mr. Justice? In that case, let's see what evidence you can offer. You claim Mr. Filch is lying about watching TV in the foyer simultaneously. Now prove it.
TV's facing the wrong way.
Take that!
Please take a look at the direction the TV is facing in this diagram. Now, unless Mr. Filch has eyes where his right ear should be, I'd think it'd be impossible to watch the foyer entrance and the TV at the same time.
Well, yes. Someone watching TV there couldn't possibly see the entrance.
Exactly. And that means, Mr. Filch, you were slacking off and were not watching the TV, or not watching the foyer as you claim.
Yikes! The bag's out of the cat, or I mean, the other way around. Got him on a box.
That's great.
Hold on. Justice. Is Mr. Filch's wrestling style of work relevant to this case?
It's very relevant, because while he was slacking off watching TV, there really could have been a Tin Mataro impersonator in the foyer.
Objection!
Now,
Granted, this Tanuki was lax in his duties, but he still had the foyer entrance covered.
what are you talking about? Lazy names aside, Taka gives me serotonin. I'm not a mind reader.
And auditory senses. His eyes may have been slacking off, but his ears were still hard at work. Right, Tanuki?
They were? I mean, yes, they were.
But you already admitted to slacking off. Now you say you weren't?
My eyes might be lazy, but my ears ain't.
You gotta hear. I would have heard anyone in the foyer.
You see, the foyer and the stairway get all creaky squeaky when someone walks on them. Creak, creak, creak. Loud enough to wake the dead, I reckon.
So, you're saying you didn't hear anybody walk by?
Yep, my ears were working full time. Now who's the liar now, you no good shyster?
A lying thief calling me a shyster. This has to be a low point for my fledgling career.
Gotta hand it to you, Mr. Blackwell, sir. You really are something else. I mean, you know what's the thing? Them bags under your eyes, they're darker than mine.
For a warning, Mr. Filch. Puck is particularly fond of Tanuki. Should you lie to the court again, you suddenly find yourself on the menu.
Yes, please don't leave me, Mr. Taka, sir.
The witness will henceforth testify truthfully under penalty of painful birth attacks.
Man, court would be a lot more interesting if that was the thing. Oh, that would tickle me. That was really good. It's a shame I'm not a bird VTuber. I do have a beak, but not burb. Jeez Louise, okay. Just a second. Some things did show they were supposed to. There we go. Okay. But
And with that in mind, the court requests that the witness revise his testimony accordingly.
Yeah, it wasn't super clear that he was standing on a box before.
It's true, I was watching a pro wrestling match on the office TV. My eyes might have been slacking off, but my ears, they were working overtime. Floor there's all creaky squeaky like. No way I would have missed someone walking by. So you see, there weren't no Ten Mataro in the foyer.
Superstition is the religion of feeble minds. Understand. A simple, rational explanation. A simple, rational explanation is best. Forget yokai, demons, and such. We must use common sense. For lacking that, our entire world would be put upside down.
Says the convict prosecutor who is told. Says a convict prosecutor who is totally a sign of the end times for the legal world. And besides, if there were any yokai roaming about, I'd nab them and sell them to the zoo. I wonder whether Jinxie was just seeing things. Seems to be a general consensus, but I'm sticking to my guns. But if we can't prove she saw Ten Mataro, the mayor's sure to be convicted. Better hope my guns fire bullets, not BBs.
The defense may cross-examine the witness.
Hold it!
Do you have pretty good ears, Mr. Filch? Good as they come, I'd say. Ain't nothing. And to hear... Yeah, ain't nothing to hear a creaky floor. Gosh, that Ten Mataro makes a sound when he goes by. Oh, it's like a jingle jangle. Jingle jangle. How does he do that? It's a staff of his. That's what jingle jangles.
It's tie into actual Japanese culture. I don't know that those staffs would be used by evil yokai because they were meant to be used by monks, where they would like tap the thing and the rings would jingle to simultaneously ward away dark spirits while also letting nearby people know that they were in the vicinity if they needed help.
What's he talking about, Apollo?
Beats me, but I guess Ten Mataro is a staff that makes noise.
Come to think of it, didn't Jinxie mention something like that too? She said she saw Ten Mataro holding a staff-like object that makes it a jangly sound.
I guess that's the source of the noise then.
Well, Mr. Justice, Mr. Phillips says Ten Mataro jingle jangles. Would you consider that vital information?
Sure. Extremely vital. I request that it be added to the testimony. But you don't got a staff in this.
Objection!
Do this. Ten Mataro's staff would make a jangling sound, you say? Well, I'm gonna say that your story doesn't add up.
Is there something the defense would like to share with the court?
Mr. Filch, you say you didn't see Ten Mataro on the day of the incident. Why did you assume just now that Ten Mataro would be holding a staff? Huh? You see, the Ten Mataro Jinxie saw held a staff behind his hand,
held a staff in his hand, and she describes it sound just like you did, as a kind of jangly sound. Yeah, so he was holding a staff. What's your
Objection!
The point is that Tenmataro doesn't use a staff. Not normally. What are you talking about? See, this is the only known document depicting Tenmataro. Is there a staff in that picture, Mr. Filch?
You're right, there's no staff. What if a cane or walking stick? The question is, why does the witness think that Tenmataro uses a staff?
I believe the answer is that I will overturn the prosecution's case on the most basic level.
Well, now, this is getting interesting. Alright, Mr. Justice. It's time to show the court where you're going with this. Please tell the court when Mr. Filch believes Tenmataro carries a staff.
I actually saw him. Mr. Filch actually saw Tenmataro right after the crime occurred. The only way he could possibly know about the staff. Bashed it again!
Bloody hell! You duplicitous little...
Yes, how'd that feel, Blackwell? Not so fun when you're on the receiving end of the blade, is it? Admit it, Mr. Filch. You did see Tenmataro that day, didn't you? Well? I'm begging you, please don't make me say it! Clearly you did see Tenmataro. Stop stalling and testify to that fact. No, can't do. No way, no how. Ain't got no idea how terrifying he can be. He? Mr. Phillips still won't admit to seeing Tenmataro, even though everyone knows he did. The question now is why? Mr. Filch is scared to death. Is that why he can't admit the truth? Come to think of it. So you must not gaze upon Tenmataro, but in the event that you do look, and then tell anyone what you saw, Tenmataro will claim your soul. Jinxie wouldn't admit to seeing Tenmataro after hearing about the village superstitions. She said that if she told anyone and she had seen Tenmataro, he'd claim her soul. Wait, you think Filch believes that too? So Mr. Big Time City, he said like a lawyer has heard about him? Them old village superstitions?
Better Filch, please explain what the witness is talking about.
The people of Ninetales Vale believe some pretty strange things. And their superstitions may be the reason their witness can't admit the truth. The truth that he really did see Tenmataro. Dad straight, that's why! It's all right here! Village superstitions. Do not gaze upon Tenmataro. Do not tell others if you see him. Ignoring the superstitions will cost you your soul. There is, however, one way to save it: your immediate departure from the village. Freeing him will bring ruin upon the village. Ignoring the superstitions will cost you your soul. See? That's why folks in Ninetale Vale can't talk about seeing Tenmataro. That clears up one mystery. Killer took advantage of the superstitions by wearing a Tenmataro costume. And they knew that was one way they could talk about him. They knew that that way no one could talk about him. So it was as if he never existed. The defense holds this Tenmataro impersonator is the true killer.
What?
Objection!
Superstition, you said. What kind of fool would actually believe such rubbish? And with using that in some silly fairy tale, and with that using some... You'll need to come up with a more rational, common sense explanation.
Objection!
Your common sense seems awfully narrow-minded to me, Prosecutor Black.
Objection!
Try living in my world full of narrow cells, mortal danger, and dark sleepless nights. There's no lack of superstition in the clique. But few are those who truly believe.
Objection!
Well, the village superstitions are real enough for the people of Ninedale Vale. A life or death superstition might make even you a believer.
Two times now, lies have cost me.
Sorry. Promise not to do it again.
Kappa, fine. Have at it.
James, you're gonna eat me alive. For the hell? He took off.
Bailiff, what are you waiting for? After him. And with your fastest men.
That's certainly not something you see every day.
Well, it would seem a new and important fact has come to light. A third party disguised as the yokai Tenmataro was at the scene. And now we have two witnesses who can attest to that fact. Any objections, Prosecutor Blackwell?
Oh. What?
Huh? Huh?
His shackles. I'm too young to die.
I've been forced to drop my blade. You had best say your prayers.
A blade.
Detective, do something! Have no fear! Full bright as he.
Let me check a thing. I think. Just check that thing. 2016.
Okay, yeah. Good bit, but had to double check.
So I made the joke that this guy is literally All Might, and that's what I've kind of been doing with the voice. But yeah, this is the comparisons are.
When the going gets tough, the champion of justice gets going.
Objection!
And get going already before he kills us.
But I stand in awe of Simon Blackwell, for it is his sense of justice that has set him free. Objection, I object to Detective Fulbright's definition of justice.
Silence!
I'm not in the habit of cutting down unarmed cowards. Well, in that case, Prosecutor Blackwell, can I ask you to,
I think the judge forgot he's in charge here.
So, justice, if Donner's assertion is this, Tenmataro is the real killer, not Mayor Ten. According to him, there is a yokai at the scene of the crime.
Right. And that yokai, or rather whoever was impersonating him, killed all the people.
Silence!
Not see your alleged killer. The yokai down in the fox chamber.
She said nothing about Tenmataro being in the fox chamber.
Between the light. Scam with a dying scream right before she opened the chamber door.
And your point is?
Upon opening the door, she found a freshly skewered murder victim, the older. A homicidal maniac who had killed him, the mayor.
Someone just like
Why does that little scam mean you want to have seen the yokai in the fox chamber? Your father was accused of murder. Surely she would have mentioned any third party that might have been.
See Tenmataro in the fox chamber.
That is what one would need to find out. As Jinxie Tedma whether she saw you kill a yokai at the scene of the crime. Final battle draws nigh. Only one of us will leave here alive. Long as my blade thirsts for blood, at long last shall be sated.
Wait, this is a trial, right?
Show me what you're truly capable of. Justice, Demir. Very well, then. Both parties no doubt need some time to regroup. The court will take a 10-minute recess in order to... 3 minutes. I'm sorry, but a 3-minute recess? Just so. Plenty of time for your destination. Plenty of time if your destination of intent is the loo. The loo? You mean the bathroom?
Sheesh. At least include enough time to wash our hands.
See the entertainment in 3 minutes. All latecomers will be punished. Yes, sir. I hereby declare a 3-minute recess before the battle begins.
I've only known Taka for just under an hour and a half. If anything happened to him, I would kill everyone in this stream and then myself. I love him. I declare Prosecutor Blackwell the winner of this round, Simon says. Doesn't bode well for us, the prosecutors running the show, does it? Whew, you need to look up a certain late gourd kit in case. At least Phoenix only had to deal with Man from Von Karma once. I guess for one case. This would be the better way to board it.
What's out of his shackles?
What was that all about? They don't make shackles like they used to.
Better be careful, Apollo. Really brought out the samurai in him. Especially after you proved there was a Tenmataro impersonator at the manor.
That guy. The whole samurai act anyway.
Such fine swordsmen. That is no mere act. Mr. Justice, it is high time that I challenge this jailhouse prosecutor to a...
No, wait. Let's save dueling until after we prove your innocence. Does anyone remember we're conducting a trial here? Dina, I'm gonna go wash up. Remember what Blackwell said, Apollo. Don't be late. You gotta wash that shit out of my pants after watching that.
Erwin, I believe our next witness, Miss Jinxie Tedma, a maid of the Nana. I believe we can proceed now, if the witness is ready. That is...
like that she's using the reflection of her serving tray to show her face. Nurari Hion, leader of the 100 demons. He really does exist. I don't remember her voice. Oh, that is one polished tray.
This will show her fate is well in court, or her testimony will be inadmissible. What is this, my child? What is it, my child?
Begone, Naru Ukion, leader of the 100 demons.
Oh, you think I'm the yokai? I was known as a judicial monster, of course. Beast of the Bow, the demon of due process.
My charm has no effect. I'm in a due process. Not sure I can see that one.
Now you little scum.
Yes, he's the most demonic person here.
I trust you, my old here.
Bags.
Rags. Try the noodle stand. Enjoy a big bowl of tanuki tail noodles while you're at it.
Everyone's Canadian. No, I mean your bags. One's under your eyes. You must have trouble sleeping. Here, this charm. Azuki Arai away.
Azuki Arai. The yokai that watches Azuki. The only thing needed to be on father's neck before I take his head clean off.
Azuki Arai don't think you can go up at night and make the noise it makes what he needs. But if you stick this charm on your forehead, you won't hear him anymore.
It is not so. Well, thank you.
Looks like Prosecutor Blackwell got more than he bargained for.
Had enough alone, but together those two are just plain creepy.
An incredibly superstitious and paranoid woman who believes yokai are real, and a big ol' weeb. I'm gonna guess his favorite anime is either Samurai Champloo or Samurai 7.
Well, testimony if you please, Miss Tinma. Specifically, whether or not you saw Tinma Taro when you discovered the crime scene.
Didn't I see Timbutaro in the fox chamber? Well, when I opened the door, I saw, yes, now I remember. Yokai, right there in that room.
So there was a yokai at the scene of the crime.
Lots of them.
Wait, more than one yokai? Did Tenmataro happen to be among them?
I don't know. All I know is the room is filled with yokai. Kasha, Kirikabe, Seta Taisho. They were all there.
This is an unexpected kind of events. No yokai to a flood of them. This is ludicrous. You have this court to listen to this delusional little scamp's testimony.
Hold it!
Your Honor, I believe her memory is simply clouded by fear. But a quick therapy session should ease her mind. With the court's permission, of course.
What a fabulous idea. Please proceed, Miss Sykes.
Sure you know what you're doing, Athena?
She's obviously not herself. The trauma of discovering the crime scene and fear of testifying have her dazed and confused. A regular ball of confusion. My analytical psychology-based approach should be able to help.
Any objections, Prosecutor Blackwill? Shall we let Miss Sykes proceed? It makes no difference to me. Do as you will, but I doubt we shall get any viable testimony. Better it. You'd be better served bearing witness to the sword skills I have forged in a distant land.
I'll show you.
Jeez Louise.
Found something. Taken out of control emotion.
Athena, what exactly are we looking at here?
Ah, this is one of Witch's functions. Right here, you can see images and emotions extracted from the witness's voice. Well, that little thing can do all this. Pretty cool, huh?
Here, I thought it was just some kid's toy.
Fortunately, all I'm getting is an overflow of error right now.
See how sad is brightly lit there in the bottom left?
She's under an uncontrollable amount of distress, which is masking her other emotions. Seems the sheer terror she experienced has made a confused mess.
So, all those yokai she thinks she saw are a product of rampant emotions?
Yes, that's right. The fear is instilled in her hallucinations and false memories. She's seeing normal everyday objects as monsters in her mind. A form of schizophrenic hallucination, brought on by emotional trauma. The trauma in Jinxie's case is fear.
So, she was, and still is, seeing ordinary objects as yokai.
I have to find a root cause of her extreme fear before I can treat it. Now let's see.
Huh.
Can you point out the yokai on the Wheel of Fire? She seems particularly terrified of that one. Start by pressing Pro. Next, point to what's causing Jinxie's out-of-control emotion. Finally, hit Probe again. Try to get to the heart of the matter.
Okay, let's give this a try.
Got it!
Jinxie, what's the name of that yokai on a Wheel of Fire?
That's Akasha, a yokai that steals the bodies of the recently deceased. I bet it came to steal the aldermans.
It's almost creepy how well that fits the actual situation.
Exactly. It's a form of hallucination where the patient can see anything for what they are, or can't see things from what they are. There must have been something at the scene of the crime that she's mistaking for Akasha. Apollo, you need to point out which he thought that it was a yokai on a Wheel of Fire. I think I know the answer now.
Jinxie, that wasn't Akasha you saw. Could you have possibly mistaken this for Akasha? Probably the chandelier.
Take that!
The light fixture?
This one right here has flame designs and is up here on the ceiling. There was never a yokai on a Wheel of Fire. The Akasha you saw was just a light fixture. Okay. That's one.
That's one memory back to normal. Nice job. Now you get the hang of it. Should be essential to point out the rest.
Jinxie, what about this white wall-like monster?
That's Nurikabe. It's a wall monster that blocks your way and leads you astray.
That's no yokai, Jinxie. It's a folding screen. This raccoon dog isn't a Tanuki monster. It's just a statue of one. Look, these are just coffee cups. This one right here, nothing more than a fox statue. Oh, well.
You did it, Apollo. Your extreme fear is under control now. There might be a yokai after all. See? There's your statement. It's the power of my psychology and your intuition, Apollo. Just like that, and just like we thought, there were never really any yokai in the box chamber.
There never were really any yokai there. Fence is asserting the exact opposite of that original assertion.
Wait. Jinxie? What about Tenmataro? There wasn't anyone in there dressed as Tenmataro. Or any other yokai either. I remember it clearly. You gotta be joking!
Order in the court.
I think we just dug our own grave.
Allow me to push you on in. It's the least I can do.
Apollo, can I interrupt your freak out for just a minute? I'm still picking up some noise. It's an unexpected emotion. I mean, Jinxie hasn't remembered everything yet? Exactly. We should be able to get something else out of her. I'll enter the new information that we have and run an update. What am I supposed to do? How to find the emotions that contradict her statement. So if I find a contradictory emotion, I should point it out. Right? But it's not just contradictory emotions you should look out for. You keep an eye out for sudden changes in emotion intensity. Her emotions might get stronger or weaker as you move from statement to statement. It's important to compare how the same emotion changes throughout the testimony. Contradictory emotions and changes in intensity.
Okay, give it a shot.
The sadness just drops here.
Yeah.
Got it!
Yeah, the sadness drops pretty significant intensity. The amount of fear you felt is rather low, despite your legs having given an from fright. Could something have lessened your fear?
Actually, I did experience a sudden burst of courage in that moment.
You did? And where did it come from?
Let me think. Oh, it was Mama. I suddenly felt as she was there, as if she was there with me.
Okay, I'll enter sudden burst of courage, and let's see. Ah, look!
Apollo, the noise is all gone. Jinxie seems to have remembered everything now. Bye.
Sunburst of courage. Now, where could that have come from? Jinxie, is there something that gave you a sudden burst of courage?
Yes, there was. But, I realized I had done something naughty when I thought about it later.
Any idea what could have given Jinxie that courage? There is one piece of evidence that comes to mind. I wonder if she saw something like it at the scene of the crime. Ah, the Ninetales flower, yeah.
Take that!
Jinxie, you didn't happen to see a Ninetales flower there at the scene, did you?
The demon lawyer strikes again. I can't hide anything from you. I found a small case with a picture of a Ninetales flower on it. I liked it so much I kept it.
You what? You can't remove evidence from a crime scene.
That's right, young lady. Removing evidence is a big no-no. Now, the witness will produce that evidence to this instant.
Sorry.
Does seem to be some sort of case. Oh, look! Something slid out. It appears to be a key. Look, your boldness. Ah. This is none other than the master key to Cubi Manor. Are you certain of this, Prosecutor Blackwell? It matches the serial number of the key that went missing after the murder.
Master key that went missing. I don't like the sound of that.
Our little scamp here has stumbled upon an article of unimaginable consequence.
That's a little melodramatic, don't you think?
Heed these words, for I shall say them but once. The sole key to the French chamber in his little scamp's constant possession. Ergo, she was the sole person who would use it before blowing her hand in the murder. The master key is the only other key that could have opened the chamber. This master key was found in a room that had been locked by this girl.
And your point is?
Until Jinxie Tetma opened the chamber with her key. The room had been locked tight from the outside world. There was no one else in there save the victim and his killer. Trust you have figured it out for yourself by now. A killer other than Mayor Tenma would be utterly inconceivable.
Objection!
How did this happen?
Ah! The defense's assistant will refrain from growling her frustrations.
Athena, are you alright? I know Mayor Tenma's innocent, but there's nothing we can do! This sucks.
Sykes-Dano, allow me to put you out of your misery.
Can I decline your offer?
Abandon your client and misplaced faith in him. Let the relief of a clear head and clean conscience come rushing in. That'll make the inevitable guilty verdict far easier to accept.
Great. Now he's playing Simon Says with us. He's not gonna fool us with his stupid mind games. Athena, don't fall for his tricks.
The one who's dazed and confused. Can't even think straight.
Are you alright? Fell right into his trap.
Now I suggest you make a mad dash from this corner and onto the wild blue yonder. Only by running shall your mind be cleared and your conscience cleansed.
Alright, I'll be
Objection!
back in 10. Stay with me, Athena. Don't let yourself be twisted by that samurai. And Paolo?
Mr. Justice, I have the word objection, but what is it you object to?
Alright. Object was more of a reflect, or that objection was more of a reflex than anything else. I was hoping something would come to me while I was trying to stop Athena.
Court is waiting, Mr. Justice. As it stands now, you'll be forced to declare your client guilty. No legal guilt suspect. Now, do you have anything that would overturn the prosecution's case?
Well, actually, I do. I'm a public justice, and I'm fine.
Well, you do have something more than your cords of steel, don't you?
Not really, but we'll be fine. But absolutely nothing. It's never stopped me before. I have to explain how the real killer could have escaped that locked room. All over if I don't.
Hello, this calls for a new approach. Try to think outside the box.
Or in this case, inside the box. What a doozy that locker room is, too.
Well, Mr. Justice, do you have anything that can counter the prosecution's argument?
You bet I do. The real killer must have escaped from the locker room in one way or another.
Yeah, you will only earn you a taste of my blade, Justice Dono.
Time to do or die, literally.
The defense will now explain how it would be impossible for... the defense will now explain how it would be possible to escape the locked room.
You sure about this, Apollo? Can you really explain what happened?
I'm fine. We just need to think this whole escaping a locked room thing over from the beginning. So, let's see. If the killer had escaped, how could they have done so?
Choices are pretty limited.
The room has a window.
It doesn't open wide enough for anyone to get through.
There's a sheer cliff outside.
As for the air vent, it's up too high, and there's nothing you could stand on to reach it. Needless to say, the forbidden chamber wouldn't open no matter what we did, so that's out.
That's right, you gotta keep the solution simple. Like they say, simple is best. We need to rule out all of the absolutely impossible escape routes. Whatever's left might just lead us to how the Fox Chamber was compromised. Your Honor, the defendant's proposal is that the killer escaped through here.
Take that!
The hallway door? Yes, I suppose that would be the only way out. It would appear you've already forgotten. The only available key until GC-10 came onto the scene was within that locked room. How would one exit the Fox Chamber and then lock it without a key?
I should have seen this coming. Remember, Apollo, keep it simple. Simple, alright.
I could understand if the killer had exited the room with the key, but
Well, Mr. Justice, the prosecution has some fine Japanese stew awaiting in minute. Would you explain yourself quickly?
I'm fine. I can explain myself. The reason the Fox Chamber's hallway door was locked was because... Inside or outside? Inside or outside? What if the room was locked from the outside? In other words, the killer took the key through the hallway door. Ouch!
Consider this. The master key was found inside the tightly locked Fox Chamber. Any assertion that the key was removed from that room is a blatant contradiction of fact.
Exiting the room before locking the door would require taking the key outside. The key was found inside the room. Which does seem like a contradiction. inside the room, and you use to lock the door from the outside.
Well, let's see if the defense can respond before prosecutor Blackwood draws his sword.
Threw it in from the outside. What if someone threw it into the room from the outside? You know, something like go out in the hallway door, lock the room, and toss the key back in through the window. That would explain how the master key could be inside the locked room.
And where would you throw it from? There's a cliff outside the Fox Chamber's window. Throwing the key in from there is an impossibility.
He could have been tossed from somewhere other than the window. Somewhere other than the window.
The key had been tossed in somewhere other than the window. The air duct.
Take that!
The air vents?
Yes. The window may be out of the question, but the air vent's not.
Oh, that's right. The Fox Chamber's air duct.
It leads into the
hallway.
That's right. The real killer entered the air duct. Yeah. Entered the air duct from the vent outside the Fox Chamber. Then dropped the key into the room through the vent inside the chamber.
That's preposterous.
Ah, and that explains how the key got in there after it was used to lock the door perfectly.
Justice.
For them to confuse.
Don't worry. I'll explain it, and so even Your Honor can understand. First, the real killer, disguised as Tim Mataro, murdered the alderman in the Fox Chamber. Then they fled the room through the hallway, a door, and locked it. Then, they entered the air duct onto the vent and outside the hallway. Finally, the killer tossed the key into the room through the air vent and could be sealed there. All that was left to do after that was to go back through the duct and flee the manor. Well, Your Honor, could that be any clearer?
Amazing. Even I could follow that.
Why were you looking at your gavel? Judge seemed really pleased. That explains everything. The real killer was someone dressed like Ken Mataro. And there was someone else other than the mayor and the alderman in that room. Oh. I didn't know Blackwell was a fan of Marissa Ravencroft.
Order, I say.
Now that I've proved a possible third party, I don't see how our client could be guilty.
Silence!
A valiant effort, Justice Stono. The final thrust missed its mark.
Huh?
Both that little scamp and the tricksy Tanuki saw the yokai after it left the room. But then, that irksome yokai simply go through the foyer, waltz right out the front door.
That's exactly what happened. The killer fled from the yow.
That is impossible. Without being spotted by the foyer security camera, that is. The electric guy here would have captured that pesky yokai trying to escape. However, there is no sign of Ted Mataro anywhere in the security footage.
What?
Save for the foyer entrance, there is no other way to flee the manor, is there?
I don't feel so good.
Hold it!
Wait, I believe there is another way to escape besides the foyer entrance.
There's a large window in the foyer. Possible to escape through there without being seen by the security camera. Hey.
Silence!
Must I point out every crucial detail of the defense? Since you lack not only brains, but the investigative prowess to perform.
That is the cliffside of the manor. The only killer escaping that way would be a dead one.
Wait. So the killer didn't escape at the foyer window? What the heck, right?
I suppose your next proposal is a killer sprouted leaf that flew off into the sunset.
The killer really was a yokai. We need to have some sort of evidence that could point to a flying killer.
You're saying we don't? As completely far-fetched as it may be.
What? You're saying you can prove the killer could fly?
Whoa, I thought I was the one with the cords of steel. Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Your Honor? What evidence do you have to prove that the killer flew away? Yep.
Take that!
Take a look at this special edition paper.
Tin Mataro, real or flight of fancy? What does this article prove, Mr. Justice?
Photo in that article was taken shortly after the murder. Maybe the yokai in that photo was the killer shortly after they fled out the window.
Mr. Justice, you're not seriously suggesting...
Well, I'm serious. I mean, it all adds up. The killer disguised as Tin Mataro flew away. You know, by some way or another.
Silence!
It is your brain that has flown the coop. That image is not but trick photography. Some other form of artifice.
Okay, then. How about the Tin Mataro figure Mr. Filch saw? It just vanished into thin air.
No, there is a rational, common-sense explanation for that. That infernal yokai, our tricksy Itanuki witness, never reached the entrance. He, or should I say she, turned back before the camera's electric eye.
She? I don't like where this is going one bit.
Now, the fact that the yokai had come from the Fox Chamber means it was likely either Mayor Damien Tenma or his daughter Jinxie Tenma. However, we know that Mayor Tenma was already unconscious at the time.
Not good. Not good at all.
Do you understand the gravity of the situation now, Justice Stono? The falsified yokai remnants. And the appearance of Ten Mataro were the work of one individual. That individual is none other than Jinxie Tenma.
You leave her out of this, Blackwell.
No!
Order! The defense will stop competing for the greatest freak-out ever. The little scamp was no doubt simply trying to protect her father. It's no wonder that her superstitious mind conjured up this mad masquerade. Prosecutor Blackwell's assertions make perfect sense to me. Far more convincing than saying that the killer escaped by flying out the window. Do you truly believe this could end any other way?
We fall right into his trap. What do we do now, Apollo? Case no longer stands without a real yokai. If only we had one.
Bailiff, seize her. It is time I interrogated her as the samurai of yore. Mayor Tenma? This farce is over. How does it feel seeing your own daughter accused of a cover-up most foul? Tenma Taro's true identity is... Now, Mr. Mayor, it would be futile at this point to claim you were the yokai. After all, you had been knocked out cold by the blow to the skull. Slipping into a yokai costume and roaming about the manor would be all but impossible. Consider this well. As it stands, your daughter would be arrested for obstruction of justice. Jesus, they're bad words. But if you confess, the prosecution would be willing to overlook a little yokai farce. Confess? The defendant intends to confess?
Wait. Follow. Prosecutor Blackwell's up to his mind games again. Mayor Tenma, no. Don't fall for his twisted words. If you're sent away for murder, Jinxie will be left all alone.
The real killer.
Mayor Tenma's gonna confess unless we do something. Blown away.
Look upon me in despair, for ripe is the time for my return. Uh-oh. That's what I wish for.
Foolish mortals. I am Tenma Taro, the yokai you speak. Mayor Tenma? Silence! I am Tenma Taro, free from the bonds binding me to the Forbidden Chamber. Oh, the return of the Demon King! What the? Demon King?
Take a big...
Finish his sentences.
The witness will, he will explain himself. Are you saying you're Tenma Taro, the yokai we've been chasing this whole time?
Indeed, it's I, Tenma Taro, the one whom you seek, come to reveal the truth. This child is Tenma Taro, you say? What nonsense. So Mayor Tenma is a yokai now. His body is mine now.
You're saying that Mayor Tenma is being possessed by you? And that the yokai that Jinxie Tenma and Phineas Finch saw, and the one captured in the newspaper photo, those were all you.
The accursed power of these wording charms prevents me from revealing my true form.
Your boldness. This must be interpreted as an admission of guilt. Well, confessing by a yokai would be quite unprecedented. Be that as it may, the defense's case has been overturned.
What?
You claim the yokai that little scamp saw was some third party, the true killer. The one who escaped from the locked fox chamber. But was the accused all along. Ironic, is it not? Your yokai turned out to be real in a manner of speaking. For the Alderman's killer is none other than Mayor Tenma. And the yokai at the screen. That too was Mayor Tenma. Or should I say, our dear Tenma Taro. The pieces have all fallen into place.
Is it Prosecutor Blackwell? How so, Prosecutor Blackwell?
We'll see. Seems I must spell it all out for you. Mayor Tenma killed the Alderman in the fog shape. It was locked in time. He then removed the warding charms from the Forbidden Chamber's door.
Fell unconscious with the blow from Beltman.
The blow that Alderman delivered to his head. that his daughter, Jinxie Tenma, stumbled upon
The scene of the crime. The little scamp fled in terror, whereupon the spirit of Tenmataro, freed at last from his charmed wardings, took possession of the mayor. The newly freed Tenmataro then fled the fox chamber. The yokai Jinxie Tenma saw was her father possessed by Tenmataro.
Objection!
But when he arrived on the scene, the mayor was found unconscious. How is that possible if he was supposed to have flown out the foyer window? Then what? Do you mean to say the maid of Kyubi Mana, Jinxie Tenma, was Tenmataro? Whole third person.
That too is easily explained. Flew about for a time I did, but presently I'd been tired. I paid for the forbidden chamber, but a vast exhaustion took me, unawares in the fox chamber, and I knew no more.
See, the pieces are still in place.
So I'll go up to his tricks again?
I don't know what to say. Is the defendant really Order! Order!
Now he's got everyone in the court believing in yokai. Simon Says on steroids. Wants to convict our client any way he can, even if it means blaming a yokai.
The proverbial ducks are all in a row. You should have known I have no qualms about finding the accused guilty, Your Boldness. This is one of the most bizarre cases in my entire career. Otherworldly, in fact. Can yokai even be prosecuted under our legal system?
Objection!
Mayor Tenma is just pretending to be Tenmataro to protect his daughter. Plus, I already proved how a third party could have escaped from the locker room. A verdict at this point would be premature.
Since both sides have raised valid points, I have no choice.
Silence!
This is the dark age of the law where defense attorneys are not to be trusted. This is but a ploy to gain time for them and to fabricate evidence. How will I sleep?
Objection!
I don't fabricate any evidence.
Silence!
Prove it by joining me.
A night in a clink will show you will not succumb to temptation. How about I just promise not to succumb to anything? We have both evidence and a confession. The killer is this yokai before us. It is beyond dispute. A guilty verdict. What's wrong with him?
Prosecutor Blackwell, we've had enough of your hijinks. The foundation of justice is fair play, and you are in serious violation of that.
Did he just tase him?
What in the devil was that?
Fool bright. You tampered my shackles in some manner.
Seems you found that quite shocking. My special jolt of justice device. Each press is a shocking reminder to behave. You shall pay for this. Simon Blackwell.
Boy howdy, did they just knock any dignity this character had. Out of a cliffside window alongside Tenmataro.
Your Honor, you need fear not now. I believe Prosecutor Blackwell will remain on his best behavior.
A bit late with the reinsurances, aren't we, Detective?
Well, in that case, this concludes today's deliberations. The prosecution and defense will use this opportunity to further their investigations. This court is adjourned.
Jeebus Louibus. Alrighty. Yes. And we're going to return to the game. Because that right there, I think, is a good place to call it. So this will give me time to decompress before bed. And rest my voice. Because I definitely picked the roughest voice I probably could have picked for Blackwell's voice, but well, make it happen. Oh boy, this is a case. I'm just glad that my voice didn't go out, even if it is a little stressed from the from all the voices. But we're good now. Hopefully, I will try and be back tomorrow. Again, make up for no Thursday stream like I may normally do. We'll see. Now, let's see. I think we're just gonna call the stream tonight. And I will see you guys next time. Good evening, and have a good rest of the night.